Within the past few months, there's been a rise of discourse online surrounding loneliness. While I feel that there are many reasons as to why this is, today I wanted to focus on what I think is a small contributor to this epidemic, and that is how the surge in entertainment options has led to a decline in shared pop culture experiences. Let me explain. If you're an older Gen Z like myself, when we were kids, we would have to wait much longer for a form of media to come out. For example, waiting until 8/7 Central every Friday to see the newest episode of Hannah Montana, or 8 p.m. every Wednesday to see who was booted off of Survivor. The week between the episodes gave us time to talk with our friends about how we felt and give our guesses as to what was to come. When it came to other aspects of pop culture, such as music and movies, we didn't have social media to see what the artists were doing every other day. So when a project dropped or we had the chance to see them in an interview, it really meant something. Now that we have so much coming out daily, our attention is split in what feels like hundreds of different ways. It's common to now binge watch a season of a show on Netflix, and by the time the next season comes out, you've either forgotten about the show entirely or you simply don't care since there's so many other things to see. I feel that the way things are currently going, we have a lack of streamlined media, or better yet, a lack of monoculture within pop culture. This word is used to describe the range of artifacts, characters, voices, and stories that a specific demographic, Americans for example, find recognizable and relatable. The monoculture seems to refer to some ill-defined age of universality made up of everything from Johnny Carson hosting The Tonight Show to Friends, Seinfeld, and The Office. They later say that it wasn't that everyone wanted to watch primetime Seinfeld, but that's what was on, and it became universal by default. Pretty much, at one point, we were all aware of what was happening within pop culture, even if we weren't consuming the piece of media itself. So what does this have to do with loneliness? Well, we as humans find it easier to make friends or build a relationship over common interests. With so many entertainment options now, it can become harder to connect with people in real life over these experiences. At one point in time, when shows like American Idol were extremely popular, you knew that everyone was watching the finale at the same time, and that when you went to school or work the next day, that's what people were going to talk about. Or the same way we are now feeling nostalgic for 2014 and reminiscing on the music at that time because we all remember hearing those same songs on the radio. This isn't to say that we can't connect with others just because there are more options now. I know that online fandoms exist and people can find community within that. However, unless you're into an artist or a show that is mainstream, it might be harder for you to connect with people in real life about your entertainment interests. So to some, this may not be that big of a deal if they already have relationships with others or aren't that big into entertainment being a bridge to build connections. However, if you're already struggling with feeling lonely, it can be a beautiful thing to meet someone who shares your favorite artist or movie and how those things have impacted you. And of course, there are much larger issues at play that are causing loneliness within our culture. This includes a lack of third spaces, not having enough money or time to go out, meeting people who don't want to prioritize relationships, being addicted to our curated lives online, and much more. I just wanted to look at this issue through the lens of pop culture in hopes of being able to realize the correlation between what we consume and how this allows us to relate to others. And also, this isn't to knock the benefits of having more options when it comes to entertainment. This can allow people to find something that resonates with them on a more individual level, and as mentioned before, there are still ways to create community over these things. I just believe in terms of a community standpoint, it was a cool feeling to know we all had different memories regarding the same form of media. I'm also hopeful that we as a society are beginning to take a more critical look at the amount and quality of entertainment being produced. I feel that in recent years, people are beginning to get tired of seeing shows that were produced so quickly that it almost feels like the fast fashion epidemic has taken over media. I believe that if we stop giving our attention to people and forms of entertainment that aren't beneficial, we can have fewer options that can hopefully help us to foster those connections with others.